Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to a very important government scheme session. The name of the scheme is Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme, and this particular scheme, it is very important scheme of Ministry of Finance. So we are covering all the schemes ministry wise, and this is the particular ministry that we are currently covering. So say if we talk about India, the people, they are crazy for gold, right? They buy a lot of gold but they do nothing of it. They just keep it at home and they occasionally wear it. So this is of no use of government, because that gold, it is just there in the home household, and also because of this, because of the demand of gold and the jewelry sale in India, the import of gold, it is quite high. So to tackle with this issue, this sovereign gold bond scheme, this was released by the central government, and herein, before starting all the important dimensions that are important from your examination point of view, let's first understand what is a sovereign gold bond for the better understanding of the concept. Okay, so see, these sovereign gold bonds, these are the government securities denominated in the grams of gold. Now what does it mean? See, first let's understand what is a government security. So see, government securities, they, in a layman language if I would say, they are nothing but a certificate that is issued by the government in return of the money submitted to them. So what does it mean? If I submit some amount, some money to the government, in return it would give me a certificate that yes, this person has submitted this amount, and in future he can take back the money whenever he feels like, or whatever be the condition of that security is. So that is the certificate that you get, and that is a government security. Now herein, when we specifically talk about sovereign gold bond, herein it deals with the gram of gold. So what does it mean? It means that these are the substitutes for the physical gold. So see, what would happen? If I am taking sovereign gold bond securities, it means I would submit a particular amount in which I can buy some amount of gold. Alright, so now what would happen? The government, they would give me a security, the certificate that yes, this person with this amount of money has bought virtually this much amount of gold, and in future he can take back the money which he had submitted for now. So herein you won't be actually taking physical gold, but whatever be the market price of that gold is, according to that, in certificate it would be written that virtually this much amount of gold, this much gram of gold the person has bought from this amount of money, and later on he can avail it. Okay, so this is what the sovereign gold bond security is. Now herein, how this deal would be done? So investor would have to pay the issue price in cash. So whatever be the market price of the gold at that time was, so he would have to pay the money, the cash, okay, and the bonds will be redeemed in cash on maturity. So herein, when this security that would be matured, when this will be matured, the person, he would not get the gold, he would get the money only, but then the amount of money would depend on the market price of gold at that time. So what does it mean? Because now also we know, if we buy gold now, after few years price would increase, right? So similarly would be the case here in this security also. Whatever amount I buy this security, depending on the market price of the gold, in future whenever I want to redeem it, during maturity, the amount that I would get back, it would depend on the market price of gold at that time. Okay, so this would be done, and the bond is issued by Reserve Bank of India on behalf of Government of India. So this particular bond, it is issued by RBI. Now let's look at the important features and the basic things. That is the launch year. So the launch year of this scheme is 2015, and now we already know that is issued by RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. Now what is the aim? So what was the aim of this, that we have already discussed to a bit, that to help reduce India's dependency, over dependency we are talking about on the gold import, because we buy a lot of jewelry, a lot of gold. So to overcome that and to change the habits of Indians, because Indians, they just buy it and they just don't use it to its maximum use, right, or optimum use. So herein, to change the habit of Indians, to get profit, so even the people will get profit out of it. How, we will see in the further slides, but to have the circulation of this thing in the market, the particular scheme was introduced. Who are the beneficiaries? Persons resident in India defined under Foreign Exchange Management Act. So this Foreign Exchange Management Act, it has some criteria that would define what a person resident in India is. So whatever the criteria are there, according to that only the whoever be the persons that are resident of India, those will be the beneficiaries. And this include eligible investors include individuals, so individuals can take a part, can be a part of the scheme. HUF is Hindu undivided family. So we know in India, here in India, joint family prevails, right? So Hindu undivided families can, as a family, they can be a part of this scheme. Trust, university, charitable institution, all these can be part of this. Now let's look at bond will be sold through. So you would buy or you would sell these bonds through a medium, right? So what would be these mediums? So all the nationalized bank, that they can help you with that. Scheduled private banks, scheduled foreign banks, stock holding corporation of India limited, designated post office and recognized stock exchange. So you can use this security, you can do trade of these securities through stock exchange also. So herein what you need to remember is only these entities can help you with the bonds. Okay, so for example, herein you cannot see cooperative banks, right? So these cooperative banks cannot sell you the bonds. So herein you have to look at only from these banks and institutes only you will be able to get the bonds. Okay, so these are the names. Now let's look at what are the important key features. So first of all, we have to understand how much we can buy the gold in it, right? So the investment limit per fiscal year. So every fiscal year we are talking about what is the investment limit. Minimum of 1 gram. So minimum of 1 gram of gold you have to buy under this scheme, and maximum per fiscal year can be bought 4 kg in case of individuals, 4 kg for individual, Hindu undivided families, and 20 kgs for trust and similar entities notified by the government from time to time. Means such entities like trust, which the government it keeps on introducing, they can buy up to 20 kg of gold per fiscal year. Okay. So these are the differences in the maximum limit of the gold that a person or the group can buy in a particular fiscal year. Next is the bond interest. Now because you have bought the gold virtually, but still it is with the government only, right? So herein you will get interest on it also. So the bond bear interest at the rate of 2.50% fixed rate per annum on the amount of initial investment. So whatever initial investment that you had submitted, on that 2.50 interest, that would be fixed rate that would be given to you per year. Okay, so herein there is a catch. See, while you invest money in this scheme or even while redeeming on maturity, there is no tax that is applicable on the amount that you had submitted and you will receive in maturity. But there is a tax that is applicable on the rate of interest that you are getting. Now what is this? The interest on the gold bond shall be taxable as per the provision of income tax. Okay, so this interest is taxable, but the rest, whatever money you would redeem or you would submit, that is non-taxable. Okay, this is the difference that you need to understand. And one more thing that you need to remember is the tenure. So what is the tenure? For how much long this bond will be there? So that would be for 8 years. So this bond will be for 8 years, but after 5 years you can opt for premature exit. So minimum for 5 years, then you can opt for premature exit, but it is the tenure of this bond is of 8 years. Now if you want to opt out of the scheme before 5 years, there is some penalty that you have to give, but after 5 years there would be no penalty given and you can opt for premature exit. In fact, even if you want to extend it, so you can extend it for further 3 years, so that would be your 11 years of the tenure, that would be the tenure of the bond. Now some other important key features that are left. For example, bonds will be available both in demat and paper form. So demat is why? Because we're talking about stock exchange also here. So you can avail the bond in the form of demat also or in the certificate form, that paper form also. Bonds can be used as collateral for loans because at the end that is the money that you have, that is the asset you have, right? So you, while availing loan, you can use them as collateral, and on maturity the redemption will be rupee amount that we have already studied, which would not be a fixed sum but linked to the price of gold. So while you will submit the money, there is no fixed amount that you would get back on maturity. The amount that would depend on the market price of the gold at that time. So these were the important key features. Now let's have a quick revision of that. So see, the launch year of this scheme, it is 2015 and it falls under the Ministry of Finance. Issued by RBI, and the aim that is to reduce India's over dependence on gold imports and change the habits of Indians. Beneficiaries are persons according to the Foreign Exchange Management Act, and in that we have seen individuals, undivided families and all that. Key features, the investment per limit we have seen minimum of 1 gram, maximum it depends on it for individual and Hindu undivided, that was 4 kg, and for charitable trust and other such entities that was 20 kg, right? Then the bonds bear interest rate of 2.50, that there would be no tax on the money that you have submitted for as the amount, but yes, you would have to pay tax on the interest. You would get interest of 2.50 and you would have to pay tax over that. Next is the tenure of bond is 8 years, but after 5 years you can opt for premature exit, and then in both demat and paper form you can avail this particular bond. Okay, and there are some, in a year there are certain months only in which you can avail these, you can purchase these bonds. Not that you can buy these bonds anytime, there is a specific period. So that is all under this particular scheme. So there is a homework for you all. It says which of the following is not an insurance scheme. So there are options: Atal Pension Yojana, National Pension System, PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima and Suraksha. So these are the options that you have, and you have to tell me the correct answer in the comment. And these are the toppers of the last session. Vivek, I hope your query is solved. If you still have doubt, you can again comment. Last time I asked you about Atal Bima Yojana, can a person avail tax, or there is a tax reduction for them? So Banking World said the correct answer. Kiran, she said the correct answer. Then we have AIFS said the correct answer. Very good. And Coach, I hope your query is solved. And then Vishwanath, yes, that is the correct answer. Nilesh said the correct answer. Then Monica, welcome. Aman said the correct answer. And Janardhan, yes, thank you. So to our new audience, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, and to get the PDF of this particular lecture, you can also join our Telegram channel. The link of it is given in the description box below. That is all in this particular video. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can comment it down and I'll definitely reply. Until our next video, all the very best for examination, and thank you.